All right. Good morning to, let's see, we got Nancy and Judith, Ellen and Ashley. And Ashley answered your question. This is a night of loud thunderstorms, kind of interrupting your plans. We're talking about not a severe weather type of scenario. So that hopefully puts your mind at ease somewhat. I know not everything will help, but hopefully that does at least a tiny bit. Hello, everyone. I'm Wave Meteorologist Brian Good. Forgot my name. Welcome to Storm Talk 940 on this Thursday, the first day of the Kentucky State Fair. That's when the exhibits are opening up. Everyone has a chance to get those first rulers and pencils and fans and everything else you get from the vendors. It's always nice to see that. So we'll be out there on Tuesday for Wave Day at the Kentucky State Fair. We'll be in the South Wing, but I'm going to be all over the place. So is Kevin Harnett. So we'll be, who knows where we'll be. Maybe with the animals, maybe on the rides. I don't know. You just have to find us. So we may or may not be at the area we're supposed to be. We may wander off. So get there early. My advice for you guys on that one as well. As always, you guys are welcome to chat in our services. We've got all of them on here. Most of you are on Facebook. I see your little icon next to your name, so I know what service you're on, so I can tell you're on Facebook. Judith is on YouTube at the moment. We've had a few up from Twitch. If you're on Twitch, let me know. We are on Twitch. I know we got some young folks here. Well, I'm on Twitch, so I guess I'll consider myself a young folk. But Twitch, of course, is a gaming site. A lot of people like to game on it or watch gamers play games, but it's actually a big IRL site. A lot of weather streaming setups are going there. So we are there for live coverage there on Twitch. And we don't have Instagram set up. I do have Instagram. Does anyone follow me on Instagram? I'm not sure if I have anyone that follows me on Instagram. I'm going to do a post later. If anyone follows today, I'm actually going to follow you back. Just today only, because it's a lot of work to do that. But today only. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you back there because I need to get more on Instagram. I don't have a TikTok yet. Not yet. I'm still waiting for that. But anyway, we're all over the place, right? So there's many ways to reach us. Sometimes that can be a bad thing. Okay, so let's get started on the setup for the next few days. We'll begin with Hurricane Ernesto. And Ernesto is a Cat 1, fairly decent-looking Cat 1. It's still trying to develop its inner core. It's getting there, getting its spiral going, the development of the structure. Once it gets a full-on canopy that will develop right into the center of it, that is when it's full-on rapid strengthening type of setup. Not quite there yet, but boy, it's got a good symmetrical outflow to it. So yeah, everything looks good on it. So it's just a matter of it getting into the right water for it to intensify. Still forecast to go to a major hurricane status as it gets closer to Bermuda. Bermuda, very tiny island, but always seems to be in the path. Doesn't always hit them directly because they are so small. Sometimes they just get a lot of impacts from tropical systems, but not a direct impact. But we do have some feeds we're going to be monitoring from there. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some of those. And we'll kind of guide you through what Ernesto will be doing there through Bermuda and eventually heading to Nova Scotia and the Canadian Maritimes. But leaving the eastern United States alone, other than an increase in waves and rip currents, that will be a common theme. All right, back here at home, this is live in Bardstown, Kentucky. We've had some high-level clouds today. And we're going to have them off and on as we head throughout the morning as well. Most of what you see there across Indiana is not rain reaching the ground into Indiana, but it is reaching the ground just outside of our area. Some showers are moving in, and I haven't seen much in the way of thunder with that, but this was a area of showers and storms earlier on. Yeah, there is some thunder with it. The game plan with this, it's kind of mixed on some of the modeling, so I don't want to get too buried in the modeling on this, but I think the storyline is about the same here. We're going to get this area of showers that will be drifting due east across Indiana, approaching Louisville and Cincinnati. I would say roughly around the 2 to 3 o'clock hour, it will be moving in, but it will also be weakening. So how much of that is actually going to be maintaining itself and still producing rainfall and measurable rain at that, we don't know. We don't know, but it will be weakening. With an idea of it weakening, then this push out of Missouri and St. Louis has a good chance to develop a new area of thunderstorms that could be rather strong. Don't really see severe yet with this, but these will be blossoming close to Louisville, but there's a lot of good support. This is going to be an Ohio River thing between Evansville and Louisville. So Evansville, Owensboro, Hancock County, down to Paducah. That seems to be where the first blow up would be for showers and storms for this afternoon and to tonight. And then we'll get a few more that will develop in behind that will then sweep most of the area with at least a decent chance of rain. So that's a storyline for this afternoon tonight that I'm noticing that is evolving. Again, light showers drifting toward Louisville and Cincinnati will fade out. And then the new development, which is going to take a few hours, will then just blossom quickly there along the Ohio River. Now, because of all that, the Storm Prediction Center, let me get rid of the satellite. There you go. Now you can see where I was sort of drawing. Storm Prediction Center, because of that, they have placed the slight risk mainly where your new development will be most prime to pop today along that boundary. So St. Louis is in there. Marginal risk for our area. I don't know if this will be extended any more east. This is a pretty good-looking map from what I've seen so far on the parameters. So I think this is fair. Tomorrow's outlook is marginal still. This one's still iffy because, as you're about to see, there is a chance to get a corridor of thunderstorms Friday afternoon that will develop along the front. If that indeed happens, then that corridor you're seeing there will be upgraded to slight risk. But we won't have that answer to be able to determine that, nor with the Storm Prediction Center, until we get to tomorrow morning. And it probably would be the midday update if they were able to even do that at all. So, yeah, this is going to be a very last-minute questionable thing there on Friday to work out. All right, here we go. Futurecast. Again, these models are not going to be perfect, but to get the idea. I'm kind of ignoring this little batch of rain here, so this is kind of moving on out. Here comes the new batch, so that does develop, and this is going to be late tonight, late this evening. These begin to pop on the radar. Again, blossoming and kind of like bumper car action, but this is not really a severe wind type scenario. These are the type that produce very heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning. Oh boy, you're not going to get a lot of sleep tonight with these. A lot of lightning, very heavy rainfall, moving in kind of random areas throughout the overnight. Just be aware that there will be some areas where you're going to have nothing going on, completely quiet. You're going to be missed. So rain totals are going to be kind of all over the place with that type of setup. But again, some easily could get into close to flash flood status. So be weather aware if you work second or third shift for tonight. We'll continue to see this blob continue all the way through Friday morning. And yes, tomorrow morning's rush hour probably will not be a pleasant one. Tawana Andrews is going to have fun with that tomorrow morning, as well as Olivia. So go easy on them on that. It's going to be a rough morning probably with heavy rain. And plan accordingly for that. It's probably the first heavy rain event for a lot of school systems for the season. So make some adjustments if you can on that and stay close to the forecast. As far as Friday afternoon storm chance and that upgrade I was talking about, well, this is where it gets questionable because we know it's going to be active later tonight into tomorrow morning. And as typically the case, when you have a very active morning and the storms kind of just drift away, here's your storm fuel that's painted in the red and yellow. And notice a lot of that fuel got ate alive, right? Zapped out of the atmosphere. So that leaves us with a good amount of time of rain-cooled air, overturned air. We call that sometimes for morning rain. So that buys us several hours of daytime on Friday. So I'll keep an eye on the fuel here as advanced this through Friday afternoon and watch what happens. We get to about 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, we're getting to sunset, but some fuel has been gained across areas of Missouri, West Kentucky, and you don't have as bright of a gold or the whiteness to the gold there. You don't have as much as you get towards Cincinnati. There's no doubt there's more fuel right here. And the radar and the modeling senses that. So when I advance this Friday evening, it really wants to blossom majority of the thunderstorms along that line. These would indeed be severe if they were to develop in that environment. They would have a perfect setup. There's a lot of items and ingredients on the other rounds I just explained to you that have a lot of things missing. And that's why we're not overly concerned on severe weather with those at the moment. This one, though, has the best potential to get several things to line up for it to produce severe weather. But notice it doesn't really want to connect all the way into Louisville and Cincinnati because we're like the last to get in on the fuel of the day. So it's a race against the clock. Will that blob early on Friday morning get out of here faster? If so, we'll have more energy then. And if that's the case, this line will likely be a little more expansive into our area. And the opposite, of course, it can be said is if the rain and clouds are slower to get out on Friday, even for them, some of this would be cut down. So that's the reason why it's challenging for us to try to give out a forecast days in advance when you have to play the whole cause and effect game before that. We've got to get the answers of the other systems before we can answer that one. So, but at least you see the frustration, I guess, of what we track. And then as we head into Saturday, it's worth mentioning that I did raise the rain chance up slightly on Saturday because we're not quite done. We're still getting fuel, getting into the mix in the back side of the low that has these little spokes that pinwheel around. So there is a chance to get a few thunderstorms. Not as much widespread action on storms on Saturday, but some lightning, small hail. We'll need to watch that for Saturday afternoon. Just be aware of that. And I'm hoping by the time we get into Sunday, we'll be able to get out of the rain chance altogether. All right, rain chance into Friday. I'm not going to worry about tonight. Right now, we'll handle that in our newscast, but just a snapshot tomorrow. Again, tomorrow morning, kind of a mess for rush hour, and then we'll just see whether or not we join in on the fun for storms Friday night or not. Here's an example of rainfall potential, and you see the problems when you get the training of rain and these clusters where you can get several inches of rain. And notice it's not for everyone. Some of you actually get skipped big time. So the rainfall forecast is not easy as well, but these will have very heavy rainfall amounts with them. So again, be aware of flash flooding. All right, let me show you down the road real quick. We look good here. Once we get this pesky system spinning out of our hair, by the time we get into Sunday, we have a chance to enjoy this little cool pocket that develops right here in the Ohio Valley next week. Low humidity, because the sun angle is still pretty high. So it's going to be hard to be the true reality of what the atmosphere wants to keep us like 75 for a high with this kind of weather next week. But it's August. We have a high sun angle, so we have to go 80s, lower 80s. Otherwise, if it's a little bit later in the year and we had this cool pocket like that, yeah, it would be a true reality of what it wants to be, which would be in the lower 70s. So for all intents and purposes, this is a fall type of setup that we'll have here developing for early next week. And that allow for especially cool nights and mainly dry. We may stay dry the entire week, which means the majority of the Kentucky State Fair may end up being dry, which is wild. You do see some rain here toward the end of next week and next weekend, especially in East Kentucky. A lot of that is orographic lift of the Appalachians where showers and storms form there, so it usually doesn't bother us. But it may take until after the 25th or so to really get rain back in the area. All right, let me get up to 10 days so you guys can see that. And let me know what your thoughts are or any questions on that. Again, you can see we've got temperatures around 90 today. Same story tomorrow. And we'll just gradually take these rain chances down until this low gets away from us and gets safely away from us so we can enjoy that cooler weather for next week. All right. Hello, Judith. Let's see. I cut the grass today. You can rain, rain, rain. There you go. And free AC after that. It's nice. Low humidity. Bring it on. You got it. Per usual, Spencer County misses out on the rain. Sean, don't worry about that rainfall map. It's very much bumper cars. You could easily get, all it takes is just one heading toward your area. Boom, you're taken care of. So it's very, very blotchy. How could you add rain chances for Saturday? How could I add rain chances? I added, I don't know if you mean like physically added or mentally added. I added them by typing in 40, 40%. But I added them in because I think that there's going to be at least a spike of afternoon thunder showers, maybe. It may not be thunderstorms, but I do think something's going to form Saturday afternoon. So I didn't want to leave that alone. What'd you say, Michael? Yeah, lighting. Michael, get your camera ready. We are ready for your photos, as always. Austin, when do you expect to get that first fall feeling day morning kind of setup? That usually takes a while. I like it more so for October, not so much September. You may feel in September. I'm working on the fall forecast right now, and I can tell you right now. Let me get on camera. Sorry, I can tell you right now that I was leaning toward a hot September, and then I back myself away from it based on the latest trends, especially in the upper air pattern that's locking in. I can't find a break in that yet. So because of that, the September forecast may end up trending cooler than expected. I'm working on that. That leaves us then questions about October, November, and of course, we get to the final portion of autumn, right before winter. There's a lot of questions on that, but I do think that La Nina is going to play a role this year. I do think the drought setup is unique this year. The overall flow that we've had with severe weather has been very unique. So there's a lot of different factors that I'm looking at. I'm working on a graphic now, as I've been telling you all. I promise you, I'm working on it. And as soon as I get it finished, it may be as early as next week. I want to do it when it's quiet because right now we got storms we're tracking. So next week may be a good week to show it to you guys, because I don't want to just show it and run. I want to show it and then explain it and then answer your questions. And maybe you have some thoughts, and let's have a talk and discussion about it. So we'll do that next week. Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to stop rambling, and I will jet out of here, and I will see you guys coming up on midday starting at 11 a.m. Okay. And we'll see how these storms evolve over the next couple of days, but make sure to stay close to the weather forecast for updates. And trust me, there will be several updates.